Welcome back, folks. Joining myself, Lee Mottishead. We've got Paul Keeley, Ed Quigley and Frank Hickey. Looking ahead now to the two ITV4 races from Haydock. The first one of them is the Betfred Supports Jack Berryhouse handicap hurdle at 210. Frank, you betting on it?
We are indeed. Limited reserve is 10 to 11. KK Lexington 100 to 30. Zalvados 9 to 2. Blue Hussar 8 to 1. And Bazooka is 16 to 1.
Okay, and what's your take on the race?
Yeah, it's very small fields at Haydock tomorrow. I think Limited Reserve got £8 for winning arguably a stronger race last time out. James Bowen's on again, who's another excellent claimer. I just think he'll be very difficult to beat. The price is short, but I think he'll win.
Okay, Paul?
Can't really have much more to that. I mean, he just looks, you know, it's one of those, he tanked for the race last time. Heavy ground at Haydock, we know he handles it. James Bowen is absolute theft, £5, isn't it? So it's... You know, it's 2 votes for him and probably 3, I could imagine. From,
I mean,
from Ted, this will be a short
clean
price.
sweep.
It'll win.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a clean sweep then for Limited Reserve. The 245 is a race with a great name. It's not quite the race it once used to be. The Betfred Tommy Whittle handicap chase. Frank, the prices, please.
Yeah, Full Irish is 3 to 1. Three Faces West 7 to 2. Lakeview Lad 5 to 1. Victor Tuesday 8 to 1, along with Broadway Buffalo, and we're 10 to 1 bar.
Do you love a long distance handicap chase?
I do, and there's a rag in here I actually think could go quite well. No planning down the bottom of the weights from the Sue Smith stable. There's looked like there's been no plan with it on the last 3 or 4 starts, to be honest with you, because it's run like its legs are tied together. However, it's got great form in a bog. It's a course and distance winner, and it's dropped to mark of 124. She's now £4 lower than its last win. I think it's something around the 20 to 1 mark or something silly. No weight on its back. You can get carried away with weights and measures on days like this. It's just a case of who's going to run the longest in ground it enjoys. And clearly a horse with no weight on its back, it's got no problem in these conditions. So I thought out at a big price in what will be an absolute dour staying test, no planning could go well.
Okay, Paul?
Yeah, I'm going to take a chance. I mean, the horse I wanted to back, the horse I wanted to run in this race was Flinton, but he hasn't turned up. He was a horse I really liked, but he hasn't made the deck. So I'm going to take a big flyer with David Pipe's Broadway Buffalo off the track for the best part of 2 years. Since finishing second in the Grand National Trial. Now, he's won 4 times at Haydock. He won a handicap hurdle. He then won this race in 2014. He was absolutely lobbing when he fell in the Grand National Trial. The first time he ran in it, and then the last time he ran in it was second to Bishop's Road, who was at that time really on a roll. And okay, he got beaten 9 lengths that day, but he was 22 lengths clear of the third. He's just a Haydock horse in that ground. It's got to be interesting that he's been sent straight back up there because he's been allowed a few pounds for his absence. He's run off 137. I think it was 141 that he ran off last time, so he's been given a shot. And Tom Scudamore's gone up there to ride him. I just think he's got to go well.
You persuaded, Frank?
Paul has almost said exactly what I was going to say, so there's not much I can add.
We better have a soup behinds or something tomorrow, Frank, haven't we?
Yeah.
You're good at winning all this money, aren't you?
I'm feeling left out. I'm going to have to join in, really.
Yeah, we're both going to be either delighted heading into Christmas or pretty miserable. But like I can't add much more. I'm taking a bit of a chance, but if he's ready to go, he loves Haydock, he loves the muck, he's well handicapped. If he's ready to go, he'll have a big chance. And you imagine off the break, they wouldn't risk running him without him being fully fit. So I think he should go well. I don't think it's a very strong race either. It's probably weaker than some of the races he's been running at around Haydock in years gone by. Have a right chance.
Okay, so 2 votes then for Broadway Buffalo in the Tommy Whittle. Before we get on to Naps, guys, is there anything else across Britain, because it is only Britain tomorrow, isn't it, that we like? So not Naps, Ed?
I just thought Adjuran de Pointe, I thought possibly get the better of the 2 JP McManus sorts. I know on official rating he's got a little bit to do, but seems like they had a little bit of a hold-up before his in his work, before his run behind Willie Be Caught in Yanworth last time out. Apparently come on a lot for that, and I fancy him. I think Coney Island's probably going to need the run after a year off. More of that just looks gone at the game, doesn't he? So to my mind, it's a 2-horse race, and I'd stick with Adjuran de Pointe in the graduation chase.
Coney Island would be odds on, wouldn't it?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
I've got half a fancy for Sleepy Haven in the last. That's a 320 at Haydock, only because I've backed him a few times around Haydock, and he likes the mud. I've no idea what price he is, but I think he'd go well under David Noonan. But that's about it.
Okay, and Frank, anything else non-nap related you want to mention?
Oh, I can't wait to see Coney Island tomorrow. I'm buzzing for it.
Buzzing.
Yeah, he's working. I've been inquiring about him, and I hear he's working really well, and I'm really happy with him. And I think he'll win tomorrow, and I think he's the dark horse for the Gold Cup. And in Haydock, the 12.25, Testify, who was a full brother to Wymot, who was a good staying chaser for Don McCain a few years back. He made his chase debut at Bangor when beating Tommy Silver over 2 miles. Now 2 miles would have probably been an inadequate trip for him. He's stepping up to 2.5 tomorrow on the heavy ground at Haydock. He should really appreciate the extra trip. I think he'll take a fair bit of beating. And it'll be interesting to see how Cap Soleil goes on the 1 o'clock at Haydock. She disappointed a small bit at Newbury last time behind Dame Rose, but she had a cut on one of her legs afterwards, and perhaps that was the reason why she didn't win. But hopefully she'll get back to winning ways tomorrow.
Okay, and with that, we move straight into our Saturday naps.
This will not be beaten.
Okay, Frank, which horse will not be beaten on Saturday?
Ascot 150, Poon Bobby.
Okay, with a silent G. Ed?
We're going to go Divin Bear in the last race on your card at Ascot.
Divin Bear in the Racing Welfare Hurdle at Ascot. And Paul?
Yeah, I was tossing up between Poon Bobby and On Tour, so I'll now go On Tour in the 3 o'clock at Ascot.
On Tour, so 3 different horses if you write down. Nice Christmas treble for you there. And before we leave, guys, any of you guys involved in the postcast doing tomorrow? No. So in that case,
not unless you want lots of drunken swearing.
No. Well, you can if you want. Okay, Christmas crackers then. What are we backing over Christmas, Paul?
Yeah, I think there's a very interesting horse, a very interesting race. A novice handicap chase at Kempton 120 on Boxing Day, St Stephen's Day for all you people in Ireland. Reigning supreme, trained by Nicky Henderson, who's got a good record in this race. He's not the shortest price of the Henderson runners, but he's the only one that's jocked up. He's got David Mullins on board, yet to run over fences, but he's presenting out of a half-sister at Garrison Savannah, I think. And just everything about him suggests he's going to be a chaser. He's got some decent form in novice hurdles at Newbury last year. And I think if he shows up, he can run a big race.
Okay, excellent. Ed?
Oh, too many. But, well, I've said Rock the Casbah every time I've been on this show, so I'm boring everyone now. So I do think Rock the Casbah is one of my strongest fancies of the year, in fact, actually, in the Welsh National. Outside of that, I love Alamomo in the Roland Merrick Chase for Warren Greatrex. Dropped to 133 over fences since he fractured his shoulder in the December Gold Cup last year. I think he looks lobbed in off that mark, 3 mile soft ground suit. But there's a sneaky one in here. This is why I'm waiting for a weather watch in Ireland. A horse in the Paddy Power Handicap Chase the same day as the Welsh National. A horse called Annabelle Fly.
Oh, yeah.
Tony Martin. If the rain does arrive, I've seen about 8 different forecasts suggesting different things. I think off 148 you can make mincemeat of those, but whether he turns up, I don't know. And he does need soft ground.
Tailed off in that dreadfully weak Feltham Novices Chase.
He was,
one by Mike Bite.
That was the one, yeah. One by Mike Bite, ground too quick. But there we go. There's the Trixie, Rock the Casbah, Annabelle Fly, and Alamomo for the Christmas cheer.
Ed's Trixie. Frank, what about you?
Yeah, a few. In the Paddy Power base at Leopardstown, I've had a right cut off one. It's JP horse as well, Oscar Knight. He was a little bit unfortunate last year. He got hampered down the back. He's 6 pounds higher now. But he finished third last year behind Noble Endeavour and the Crafty Butcher, who were 2 well-handicapped horses. He won a handicap hurdle last time out, and the Forens and Frank, that Diamond Cashwa, has come out and bolted up at Navan since. I think it's really strong form. I'd say he's been targeted at this. He's shortened up considerably the last 2 days, so I'm hoping he'll run a big race. In the Welsh National, I thought it was interesting they pulled Mystery out at Cheltenham. Obviously, the ground wasn't as slow as they wanted, but his record fresh is impeccable. He's 3 out of 3 in the last 3 years, first time out. He absolutely loves the slog. He was second in the Midlands National last seen in March. He won the Eider. He's just an absolute grinder who loves soft ground. So I think he'll go well at an each way price. And the only other anti-post bet I've had was actually the same race that Paul was on about. I'm taking a chance that he'll run, but Cultivator, again of Nicky Henderson, he's 2 from 2 at Kempton. He's not the most reliable, he's 2 from... He was beaten ahead the other time, or beaten 6 times. So he's a good enough Kempton record, but I took a chance that he might go back there. But yes, if Reigning Supreme is the only Nicky runner. He's to be respected in that race. He's won it, I think, 3 or 4 times in the last 10 years. But I've taken a chance on Cultivator. I wouldn't back him each way. I wouldn't back him until he's confirmed. But if he is, I think he'd have a good chance. And that's all I back. The other one I give, if it runs over Limerick, this is a horse rated very low, but Princess Manor ran at Tremor last week. John Joe Walsh was beating, I think, a neck. The tongue tie was on for the first time. If that runs at Limerick over Christmas, I think that would be very difficult to beat.